And today we continue with the updated Las Vegas Raiders defensive depth charts here. There's a lot of fun going on with this defense in terms of the defensive fronts, specifically defensive ends, D tackles, who's going to play where. This is going to be a lot of fun. So I've been really looking forward to this. And I think you guys are too. So we'll start with a 3-4 defense here. So this is kind of what we're projecting, what we're seeing right now. You talk about Max Crosby there at the defensive end spot. I think he's going to pretty much a lock. You could see him at outside linebacker, but I doubt it. Leave him at defensive end. He's one of the best run defenders in the entire league. Leave him there. Like I said, Patrick Graham likes to run a lot of different fronts, so that's why we're doing a 3-4 and a 4-3 here. So it starts with Crosby. If we're talking about a 3-4, I think Jonathan Hankins is going to be your starter at nose here, and then a little bit of a shocker here. I think you could see Bilal Nichols here starting at end opposite of Crosby and have Chandler Jones as more of an outside linebacker, stand-up guy. He seems to be, he seems to have success pretty much wherever he goes because, he's Chandler Jones. But anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much it for this defensive line 3-4, but we could also see some subs here. Obviously Cleveland Farrell's going to probably be doing a lot of moving around inside, outside, whatever. Neil Farrell Jr. and Matthew Butler, those are two names you're going to hear me say a lot. Again, the bolded here denotes rookies. Hopefully I didn't miss any. Let me know. But, this could be really interesting when you talk about the interior pass rush for the Raiders. Again, lacking last year in terms of interior pass rush. So I really think this could be really interesting. You talk about, again, Cleveland Farrell, who could come in and do some different things. Myron Tagovailoa Amosa, I believe, was also another player that I do think could definitely do some things. We're just going to call him MT. But I do think at the end of the day, this is going to be really interesting in terms of just how well the Raiders do put their defense together when we talk about, and it all starts up front. So I think that what you're going to probably see is a team that does focus on some of the different matchups it can create when you talk about getting Cleveland Farrell against, a slow interior guard. Yes, please. You also talk about Neil Farrell Jr. there at that backup nose spot. Him and Matthew Butler are going to be, I think, are going to be big parts of this defense. Also Matthew Butler, I think maybe you could see him at nose, but I would like to see him at end to see what he can do. I think those three guys between Farrell Jr., Butler, and Nichols and Hankins, I think that's going to be pretty much it. Those guys are going to be, you really need to use those, and we'll be putting a video about Farrell Jr. and Butler as well. But I think defensive line, that's going to be really interesting. You also talk about even just rushers, Chandler Jones, Malcolm Kuntz. Malcolm Kuntz needs to see the field. I don't care. You could also see, I feel like, Zach Van Valkenburg out of Iowa, he's going to be really fun to watch. I feel like he's going to be a guy that might surprise a lot of people. We'll be coming out with a video, another teaser there for you guys about that. But, he's one of those guys that reminds me a lot of Jared Allen and just gets after it. So, honestly, Tashawn Bauer there as well. It's going to be a case of best man wins. Divine Diablo and Kyler Fackrell. I think Divine Diablo deserves to start over Kyler Fackrell. We're talking about, it's going to be an interesting defense between athletic guys like him and Nate Hobbs and Kyler Fackrell and Malcolm Kuntz. Like, it is going to be very interesting to see where guys actually are on the field, because Divine Diablo showed he can play at a high level in this league. Kyler Fackrell just had a double-digit sack season a couple of years ago with the Packers, and plus Malcolm Kuntz, literally played like 7 snaps like last year and got 2 sacks. So, they really need to make sure that they are using a lot of different guys in a lot of different positions here, and I think you could find guys that really do a lot of good things here. So, yep, and then obviously linebackers, Denzel Perryman and Jayon Brown. Leave Denzel Perryman at the middle linebacker spot. Let him just roam around. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This man literally rejuvenated his career last year with the Raiders. Let him just go around and just tackle everybody. That's his job. Jayon Brown here, again, at inside linebacker, then Divine Diablo. And then as far as the secondary, you got Trayvon Mullen and Nate Hobbs and Rocky Yasin, RYS, baby. That are going to come in and start. Obviously, I think there's going to be a lot that's up in the air with this, but I am still very excited. Jonathan Abram as well. Secondary doesn't really change. And then, like we said, second team, a lot of the risers in here, a lot of good talent here. Darius Phillips. Also, Deron Harmon might see the field. They might do a couple of 3 safety looks. Tyree Gillespie, just put this guy on the field. I don't care. Just see what happens. What's the worst that could happen? He's not good? Fine. Take him off. But give this man a shot. He deserves it. So then, you also talk about the rookies coming in. Darian Butler, Sam Webb, Quinterio Cole, Bryce Cosby, also Isaiah Paulo Moa, excuse me. So I'm excited. This is a pretty exciting 3-4. But now when we talk about a different changeup in a 4-3, well, here we go. We talk about Max Crosby and Chandler Jones at the edge spots. Again, Bilal Nichols and Jonathan Hankins are probably going to be those guys on the inside. Also, again, two names to watch, Neil Farrell Jr. And Matthew Butler. I do think that those guys are going to be huge names to watch here. I know Vernon Butler is going to be in the mix here, but I feel like you got new blood. There's a reason you took basically two defensive tackles back to back because you wanted to put a huge emphasis on getting interior pressure, and that's where it does come down to. Now, again, when we get into a 4-3 here, that does make it interesting as to what you're going to do with guys like Divine Diablo, Kyler Fackrell. Again, Divine Diablo deserves to start over Kyler Fackrell. I'll say it until the end of time. Also, Malcolm Kuntz, you got to get this man on the field. I don't care what you do. Darian Butler in that second team middle linebacker might play a little bit of third as well, or maybe even outside. I think you really got to see what he can play when he gets to camp. But Denzel Perryman, again, leave him on the inside, let him do his thing. Jayon Brown here, I did forget to put Jayon Brown here. Jayon Brown's probably, you're obviously going to put him on the field too as well. I don't want to start him over Denzel Perryman, but Jayon Brown will probably start at middle here, and then Darian Butler will probably be a third team. But overall, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what it comes down to is you do find a guy that is going to best suit it, and I think that Denzel Perryman is that guy. But we talk about Nate Hobbs, Rocky Al-Sin. Basically, the secondary stays the same. You just really mix up what you do up front, but it does, if you can get the right combinations, if you can get the right people in there making noise, it does make things a lot easier for the secondary and a lot of guys in there. And like Van Valkenburg, too, like I said, I give this guy some snaps, 5 to 10 snaps a game, let him develop. I think he could be a very good bright spot, and like we said, we'll talk about him a little bit later, but that's, there's two really good schools of thought here for the 4-3 and the 3-4, but I'm really excited. But that's it. That is our updated Las Vegas Raiders defensive depth charts. Let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome, and we love every single one of you. In the description down below, you'll find all of our social media platforms, so give us a like and a follow there. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com. Or put in the comment section down below, and we'd love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about our updated Las Vegas Raiders defensive depth charts.